What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm GemMint, and today we're here with a new Omnibus haul. We've got a couple early releases here. Big shout out to Marvel Comics. We got The Predators Volume 2, Amazing Spider-Man by Nick Spencer Volume 2, and Wolverine Volume 5. Everything else is from Organic Price Books. So if you guys are looking to pick up any collected editions, Omnibus or Absolutes, hit up organicpricebooks.com. Use code GemMint. It'll save you $2 every time. They have great packaging, fast shipping, and they have pre-order options. Now, if you guys are overseas, if you're in the EU, I got you covered over there as well. You got to check out comicsbugle.com. Same code, GemMint, saves you $2. They have pre-orders, and you don't have to pay until the book is ready to ship. They also have amazing packaging, super fast shipping. They include gifts in every order, and they have customer service guaranteed to respond to you within 24 hours. So, organicpricebooks.com if you're in the States, Comics Bugle if you're overseas. With that out the way, let's jump into this haul, and we got to start with these beautiful Power Ranger archives collecting the original Power Rangers comic books. All right, so here are the covers for the Power Rangers Archive Book 1 and Book 2. You've got the OG team, and then you have, what is that, Turbo? I was a season 1, 2, and 3 guy, so forgive me. But what I really like is how they made these spines and the whole format line up with their other hardcovers containing the more modern ongoing series. So you've got the creative team on the bottom here, and then we have the back of the book, nice kind of panel aesthetic. Just $75 each, and you get all of this classic material. Let's take a look at book 1 first. So opens up to some nice blue interior pages. Very clean on the design, but I do have a complaint here. It doesn't tell you really what it collects. Even in here, it usually will tell you, originally published as whatever. You have the credits here, and you do get a table of contents, so it does give you like the name of the issues and the creative team, but it doesn't give you what the issue was or the dates, which I felt like would have been really important, especially for like an archive edition. But it first collects everything under Hamilton Comics, and then it gives you the Marvel stuff. You'll recognize the covers. Very cool, again, to get this all collected. I mean, imagine trying to hunt down all of these original Power Rangers issues. And I'm a Power Rangers kid, like I said, like those first, 3 seasons were coming out on TV as I was in elementary school. We used to ride our bikes home and try to hurry to catch who is the Green Ranger, who's going to be the new White Ranger. Like, we were into it as kids. So all of the original Hamilton stuff and then the Marvel stuff, at least it gives you the page numbers, starts at page 345. So boom, this is the first issue from Marvel Comics, so it's got the more modern team. Fabian Nicieza doing the writing here. So, look at this. Isn't this a character that, what is it, Bryan Cranston voiced? Or am I thinking of someone else? I remember that pig character, though. So the original Marvel stuff, and the end has, like, the movie adaptation. Love the Ninjutsu Rangers. I remember seeing that movie in the theaters at the the Festival Flea Market in South Florida, if you guys are from that area. So that's the end of book 1, and then on to book 2. So again, you have, I think, Zeo Rangers in here, Turbo Rangers. It's exactly the same, though. It doesn't give you the issues that it collects or the dates or anything, just a table of contents with the name of the issue, what page they're on, which is helpful. So first you get the Image Comics. What is it, just a one shot? Then the issues from Acclaim/Valiant, then paper cuts, and then the back matter, which the activity pages. We'll have to look at that, 404. Yeah, so here's Power Rangers Zeo. So from Image Comics, Todd Knott cover, and looks like interiors too. So, yeah, I just think this is pretty cool because, like, if you're a Power Rangers fan, to hunt down all these issues, I mean, it could probably be done on eBay or looking through dollar bins, but I just like that it's all collected in these beautiful hardcovers. And if you're already collecting the modern stuff, which is a great read, then this makes sense to put it in front of that, right, to give it that chronological timeline. Yeah, I never got into this version of the Power Rangers. Again, I was in elementary school when the first stuff came out. Once I hit middle school, it was all about rap music and other activities. I kind of got out of it, but I'd love to have this collected. Would be fun to go through and read this stuff one day. Here goes the activity pages. So this is essentially the bonus content. Come on now, the Power Rangers maze. The question is, do you write in here or no? Oh, the crossword puzzle, the biography. Love this old school, though, Power Rangers comic book art. The letters pages from the original comics. Come on now. What kids in the 90s were saying. Thank you for drawing, Pat. Your Power Rangers seem to have all the right ingredients. Morphin Mail is crazy. So more letters pages. Oh, and what it gives you at the end, it's a preview of the first issue from the reboot, the Kyle Higgins stuff, which, like I said, was a great read. It was such a great adaptation. If you guys have caught my old reviews of those issues and those hardcovers, it was like they took everything that was great from the show and they left out the cheesiness and the corniness, and that's what we ended up with here, which made for great comics. Unfortunately, I did end up selling those deluxe editions. After getting these, I think I'm going to have to hunt those back down again, y'all. Build up this Power Rangers collection once again. What better way to start than with the archives? All right, guys, here on out, everything is a continuation, either a Volume 2 or a Volume 5. Let's show DC some love with Jack Kirby's The Fourth World Volume 2, and let's bust out Volume 1 so we can compare. All right, so for The Fourth World Omnibus by Jack Kirby Volume 2, you know we had to break out Volume 1 and see how they stack up next to each other. You got the same kind of art style in the front, Dark Side. You've got Mr. Miracle, the New Gods. So it's a little bit of a thinner omnibus. You got Dark Side on the spine of Volume 2. Is that Big Barda? I'm trying to remember. I was reading this one. You'll see the bookmark halfway through, but very similar in spine. Just gives you an orange spine instead. I think it was probably loud even on the mic. All right, and then the back of the book. So, again, you got Dark Side. You've got more of the DC heroes, the Justice League, Mr. Miracle, all that good stuff. Now, these books kind of suffer from the same thing that the Power Rangers archive editions suffer from, is they don't really tell you what it collects. Like on the back here, it doesn't tell you, at least on the back for Volume 2, it does tell you, okay, Mr. Miracle 19 through 25, New Gods 12 through 19. Now, what's interesting is, so Volume 1 were the 4 titles that Jack Kirby jumped on when he came over. So Mr. Miracle, the New Gods, you had Jimmy Olsen, Superman's pal, and you had the Forever People. I drew a blank there. So this one, a couple of those titles ended, and then obviously Mr. Miracle kept going and New Gods, but then has Adventure Comics 459 to 460, has some Brave and the Bold issues, DC Presents. What else do you have? Some Justice League of America, Legion of Superheroes, but basically collecting the fourth world that Jack Kirby was building. Yeah, so here's my bookmark on Volume 1. I was reading it. Yo, this book, not as daunting as I thought it was going to be. Like, this stuff reads so well. Jack Kirby's art is beautiful. It's so cool to see how he built this story over 4 different titles, which had never been done in comic books before. Like, you may have heard me say, he popularized telling a story over multiple issues, famously in like Fantastic Four, 48, 49, 50. And then he did that same thing, but on a larger scale, again, across 4 different titles, which ended up bleeding over into other titles, as we mentioned on what Volume 2 collects. So the spine and under the dust jacket on Volume 1, and then here is Volume 2. Kind of interesting that he gives us kind of like interior pages with dialogue and everything, but nice, cool battle scene with the Justice League here. The inside of the dust jacket on Volume 2 just has some artwork here. So Superman, Darkseid, all that good stuff. All right, this one opens up to some black cover pages. Iconic shot of Darkseid here. Here's all the credits. Jerry Conway, Jack Kirby. Does have your table of contents. So it does give you at least the title of the issue, and it also tells you the issue number. So it starts off with first issue, issue special 13 from 1976. So this one does give us a little bit more than those Power Ranger books. And I forgot to mention $125 on the cover price on Volume 2. We got an introduction here. Yo, the introductions and the forewords in Volume 1 were so beautiful. Jack Kirby, he wanted to see comics, that medium, get some respect on their name as far as being collected in oversized hardcover editions. He felt like they were more than just like these newspapers. And I would love to see, you know, what he thought about where comics are now as far as collected editions. Like, his dream came true. All right, so we got some Miracle Man stuff. I loved reading the origins of the Dark Side, the New Gods, New Genesis, Apocalypse, all these stories that I've read more modern takes on it. This is where it all begins. And again, at least where I, you know, left off with Volume 1, it wasn't a tough read. It's like an intimidating book. It's super thick and, you know, the materials from the 70s, but it just reads and flows so well. Dark Side here. So we got Granny Goodness. Now, the only thing about Jack Kirby's Fourth World, if I recall from reading that first volume, it didn't have a true ending, which some people find poetic in itself. Like, okay, it's up to your own interpretation, or you could read stories where other creators end up picking it up. But yeah, it doesn't have a true ending. Jack Kirby with the famous Kirby dots. So beautiful artwork. I got to get back into finishing that Volume 1. I dug it, man. I was thoroughly enjoying reading Jack Kirby's Fourth World. And then we get some bonus material. The Mother Box files. Yeah, learning about the origin of the Mother Boxes and the boom tubes and all that stuff that you see from like the movies and all that, all originated here in these issues. Like the action figures. Very cool. Oh, look at, I never got into these. Were before my time, these figures. I got into action figures with like Masters of the Universe and TMNT. Then it would be like Spider-Man the Animated Series stuff. So great collection of issues, the figures that came out during that time, original covers and art. Orion, biography on the creative teams on the back. And there you go, guys. That's Volume 2. All right, from here on out, everything is a pre-release, so I'll make sure to give you the release date in the overhead shots. We're going to take a look at ASM by Nick Spencer, Volume 2 first. All right, so this one comes out on June 4th. There are 3 covers. This is the standard edition cover by Ryan Ottley. There is an Art Adams DM variant and an additional Patrick Gleason DM variant, which is that iconic cover from ASM 55. This is probably going to be the cover that most people will go for, but you got to love that Ryan Ottley art. So, Volume 2, Nick Spencer. He's got Ed Brisson, Mark Bagley, and more. Here is the back of the book. Cover price $150. Collects issues 44 through 73, and it has some point LR editions and all that good stuff. ASM Sins Rising Prelude. You have the Sins of Norman Osborn, Giant Size Amazing Spider-Man King's Ransom, The Chameleon Conspiracy, Sinister War 1 through 4, and some material from issue 74, which is when Nick Spencer would jump off of this run, and then it would go to, man, I'm trying to think, Amazing Spider-Man Beyond, I believe is the storyline. Here's the inside of the dust jacket. We have a synopsis of where we are with this storyline. This is all about Kindred, which was the villain that Nick Spencer crafted that he teased over multiple issues, and we finally get the identity. And then my favorite part of the Nick Spencer run is the Sin Eater stuff, which is collected in this volume. Here's a biography on all the creators, and we have a beautiful wraparound cover here. I want to say this is Mark Bagley. Hold on, I'm kind of slipping a little bit here. Let's compare it to Volume 1. So, man, not really a fan of this dust jacket. A little bit bland, right? But the spines do match up. So Volume 1 and Volume 2 will look good on your shelf if you're collecting this Omni. What's funny is I mentioned Kindred, and the coming of Kindred was in Volume 1. So it was kind of one of those things where he was kind of teased very early on, and it was kind of drawn out as far as like the reveal and everything. I'm not going to spoil it here. There's not really a point to. But we're just taking a look at the book and what it collects. Cover page, table of contents. Jumps right into the Sins Rising Prelude. So this run doesn't get the best reception. I think people liked Kindred, and it was a cool character, but again, kind of drawn out. For me, though, the Sin Eater stuff was like peak ASM storytelling, man. I loved it, absolving everybody of their sins, but it would also take Spider-Man's powers if the Sin Eater got a hold of him. I was reading this in single issues as it was coming out, which is always fun to see them collected in omnis after you kind of read the singles. It wasn't always like that, right? Early in the Omnibus game, it was collecting stuff from the Bronze Age, Silver Age, and what have you. So cool to kind of be like, oh, I remember picking that up off the shelf, or that was on my pull list, and now here it is in an omnibus, collected in a beautiful hardcover. So the Sin Eater story was great for a long time. I remember giving it pick of the week often, and then I don't think it translated well into like the Sinister War and everything. Here goes Kindred with those crazy worm caterpillar things all around him. What's this? Moreland, spiderweb stuff. So then you got Ghost Spider, Miles, Green Goblin. I think Humberto Ramos was doing a lot on here as well. So the stuff with Norman Osborn actually had implications to this day. That's how he becomes the Gold Goblin, absolving him of his sins, turning him into a good guy. Okay, look at this. So we have kind of a variant cover for ASM 67 thrown in here. Pretty cool. So yeah, this would complete the entire Nick Spencer run, and then you have ASM Beyond. That would bring back the return of Ben Reilly, and then he had his own miniseries, and then he would become Chasm. So very nice to fill in these gaps on modern ASM. A lot of variant covers collected in the back here. Let's take a look real quick. So we got a Boss Logic Sin's Rising Prelude cover. We got some more Otley stuff. Bagley doing Spider-Man for 30-something years, right? Let's see what else we got. Nice Bruce Timm, Batman animated series artist. Of course, Scotty Young. In-Hyuk Lee doing a very sinister Green Goblin cover. More Humberto Ramos. Mark Brooks, J. Scott Campbell. Yeah, a lot of great variant covers during this time. Alex Ross, this is when he was doing the Timeless variants. So very modern stuff collected here, capping off this run. Here's the Patrick Gleason and sketch. A lot of variants. See, that's why, like, as an omnibus collector, you don't really need to collect variant covers at the same time because you end up getting them all collected in these books. It's just you never know, which runs are going to actually get the treatment and what have you. So we do get some sketches, some interiors and such as bonus material, and that's the Volume 2 Nick Spencer run. All right, so I just put these in alphabetical order. They're not in order of date of release, but let's take a look at the Predator Omnibus Volume 2. We'll bust out Volume 1. This will complete the OG Predator comics in omnibus format. All right, so Volume 2 of Predator comes out on May 21st. This is the standard cover, and there is a direct market Bob Eagleton variant cover out there. Only 2 covers on this one, and let's compare it to Volume 1, which has that beautiful Dark Horse Issue 1 cover on the front. This will end the old school Predator comics, so these 2 volumes is all that you would need, and I would imagine that Marvel will eventually collect their ongoing series in the omnibus format. So matching spines, of course. You have Volume 1 and Volume 2. The backs match as well. Volume 2 collects Predator Hell and Hot Water 1 through 3, Primal 1 through 2, Nemesis 1 through 2, Predator Captive, Predator Homeworld 1 through 4, Xenogenesis 1 through 4. It's got the 2009 4-issue series, the 4-issue series Predators, Beating the Bullet, Predators Preserve the Game. You got Predator Hunters 1 through 5, Predator Hunters 2, issues 1 through 4, Hunters 3, 1 through 4, and some material from Dark Horse Presents, issue 124. Also, Free Comic Book Day 2009 Predator. $125 cover price, just like with Volume 1. Here's an inside of the dust jacket. So again, complete your library of classic Predator comics. Quick breakdown of what's going on in this book. The creative team, a ton of creators throughout these issues, multiple miniseries and such. And then the wraparound cover here. Got some Predators on there. Let's open up to some black interior pages. Classic thermal vision Predator cover here. The table of contents. Yeah, I'm a fan of that. Let me know the month and the year it was published, what page they're on. Marvel doing a good job on these omnis this week, right? All right, so Hell and Hot Water, you jump in, you get the Virgin cover, and then you get the interior pages. So I do kind of like that. Yeah, Predator's a good read. I dug the early Dark Horse stuff. I read it in the Dark Horse hardcovers back in the day. And I think those big library editions, man, they're super sought after still. But Marvel got the rights, and here they are publishing all of that classic material, similar to how Boom went back and started putting out that early Power Ranger stuff. So I'm a fan of that. Keep that old school material alive. I like the fact that when these publishers get the license, they get access to all the earlier stuff, and they have no problem putting it out. So respect to that for the original contents. So you know what you're getting here. You're getting all these Predator minis. Again, even the more modern stuff has Virgin covers before the issues. Predator's film adaptation. Did you guys like Predators? I feel like that one gets kind of shitted on a little bit. Predator 1 being the OG classic with Arnold. I was always a fan of Predator 2. I liked seeing the Predator in the city, and I loved like the end scene where, Donald Glover goes into the ship and he sees all the different species that the Predators have been hunting down. That scene always stuck with me. All right, in traditional Marvel fashion, we get variant covers in the back. A little bit more on the thinner page quality on this book compared to the Amazing Spider-Man book. All right, got some original cover art, pencils and inks. All right, and I had to save the best for last. I mean, he is the best there is at what he does. It's Wolverine Volume 5. So much iconic material packed into this omnibus. Can't say enough about it. Let's jump into it. This video is brought to you by Bad Music, issue number 1. Following the battle at the Ninja Funk Dojo and the capture of BB, Bad Music retreats to their headquarters at the Nexus. With the love of Laser Wolf's life as irresistible bait, there's no doubt in Queen Bad's mind that her nemesis will come knocking and she's ready for them. Will Laser Wolf, JPG McFly, and Wolfgang see the trap for what it is or run headlong into disaster? Find out in Ninja Funk Bad Music number 1 in stores on May 15th. All right, so this one comes out on May the 14th. This is the direct market variant cover by Tim Sale. Beautiful artwork, and they changed the trade dress from what it showed in the solicits, which was the original cover for Wolverine and Gambit. So I like how they changed that specifically for the omnibus. Still got Gambit on the front here. The standard cover is great too. It's the original cover for Wolverine 100, that Adam Kubert art, which originally had the foil on it. And then there's another direct market variant, which is that cyber cover, Wolverine, what is that, 66 or something like that? No, it can't be 66. We'll probably see it inside here. But here is the spine, and let's take a look at all of these spines lined up together, volumes 1 through 5. I was looking at the back and what it collects to figure out how many volumes does it need to catch up to the Weapon X, The Return. And it looks like there may be, 6 or 7 total volumes until we start getting into other omnis that collect this material. This collects issues 76 through 101. So what is that cyber issue? Oh, there it goes right there. I forget what number that is. We'll probably see in there. Also contains annual 95. I used to have this as a single back in the day. Marvel Comics presents 150 and 151, Cable 16, Wolverine Evolution. Then you have Wolverine and Nick Fury, Scorpio Rising, Ghost Rider, Wolverine, Punisher, The Dark Design. So you have a lot of kind of graphic novels and team-ups here. Night of Terror, Wolverine / Gambit, Victims 1 through 4, collects Uncanny X-Men 332, Logan, Path of the Warlord, and material from Marvel Comics presents 152 and 155. So $150 on the cover price, Adamantium no more. We get the Kubert brothers, we get Wolverine with bone claws. Let's take a look. Inside of the dust jacket, so Larry Hama continuing on this run here, but like I said, bringing in Adam and Andy Kubert, early work for them. And then you have the biography on not only Larry Hama, but Jeff Loeb, Tim Sale, Adam Kubert. They went with a similar theme with all of these volumes. So they all have this kind of like yellow to blue faded look and interior panels from these issues. Got this black cover page. And because it's a continuation from like volume 1, like all the original stuff, first appearance, Hope 180 and all that, it has like that old school omnibus design, except you get this more feral Wolverine. This is post-Fatal Attractions where Magneto ripped the adamantium out of Wolverine's body. Here's the table of contents. And again, you can see the difference between like the old school theme and the more modern themes, like let's say from Amazing Spider-Man or the Predator Omnibus that we looked at. Lady Deathstrike, Wolverine 76. Man, this run right here, before I got into Omnis, I was back into comics. I was going to the comic shop. I was buying stuff off eBay. If you guys know my story, this is going to line up. So I was buying like key issues off eBay and stuff that I always wanted as a kid that I didn't have the money for. And one of the first things I wanted to do was put together a full run of Wolverine. I was like, wouldn't it be so cool to put in like, to grab 1 through 300 of Wolverine. And then I was like, man, I would love to put together the entire Punisher run as well. So that's kind of where my mind was at before I found the omnibus format. And then boom, we're getting the entire run of Wolverine. This book also, besides collecting the ongoing series, has great graphic novels and mini-series, like the Jeff Loeb, Tim Sale stuff is collected in here. We mentioned the Wolverine and Gambit Victims 4-issue mini-series, so even more than what I could have asked for. All the classic Wolverine material. This is like one of the omnibus sets. Like if I had to sell a majority of my Omnis, these are Omnis that I would keep. So it must collect the Phalanx Covenant, right? Because why else would they give us Cable 16 in here? It's the only Cable issue. Now, here goes one of the graphic novels, Wolverine Evolution. Mark text on the artwork there. Scorpio Rising. The Nick Fury one-shot, the Ghost Rider Wolverine, Dark Design, and Punisher as well. So many of these covers. Oh, I almost didn't even mention this one. So it collects Wolverine 88. This is the first battle between Deadpool and Wolverine. This is a book that has been on fire ever since the announcement of the Deadpool 3, which is now Deadpool and Wolverine movie. And I actually read this. Let me show you real quick. In a recent trade paperback that Marvel put out, they put out a Deadpool versus Wolverine trade, which collects all their iconic battles. You'll know this cover. I think this was from like Deadpool 150 or Wolverine 150, something like that. But I read Wolverine 88 because the book was so hot and everybody was collecting it. I wanted to read their first battle. And I was looking at my Omnis and I'm like, oh man, nothing collects this yet? But here it is in this issue. I was going to do a review on it, but I mean, it's just kind of like a single issue. It's nothing really to talk about, I felt like. But yeah, you got Deadpool and Wolverine. It's kind of like throws you in the middle of this story that you kind of had to have been reading to really get the full context. But it was still dope to see, some of my favorite characters. I guess I like that kind of more grungy, street-level vibe. Wolverine, Punisher, Ghost Rider, that kind of stuff. Everybody had this, man. I remember having like folders back in the 90s with this style of art. Like, does anybody remember that? It was like sports themed, and you would have like a kid playing football or baseball, but they would have like these exaggerated teeth, and the ball would be all up close and super detailed. I feel like it must have been Adam Kubert. Oh, and look, it's with the Hildebrands. Maybe it was the Hildebrands that did those covers, man. Comment below if you guys remember those folders and such. Everybody had that issue, though, growing up back in the day. Just like how everybody had that Wolverine 50 classified cover one. Awesome stuff, guys. Bonus pinup with Maverick and that whole squad. Yeah, and this is just like with Wolverine 88. They started making deluxe versions, so they had like multiple versions of the same book. Some were more expensive with better page quality. Another Wolverine graphic novel. Bro, how could you not love this stuff? Unless you're not a Wolverine guy. But again, not only giving us continuing the ongoing series, but giving us these minis and these graphic novels. Did I already pass the Jeff Loeb, Tim Sale stuff? I want to sit down and read that one. He goes Cyber. Yeah, I remember this cover too. Yeah, so I mention this collects, right, up to Wolverine 101. So 100 being that famous cover by Adam Kubert. Let me see, let's get there real quick. Yeah, here's 101, so the final issue from the ongoing here. And then here we go, big milestone issue with Wolverine 100. All right, so in the back, what do we get for the bonus material? So it looks like we get some articles. Marvel Age cover. Yo, what was that one Marvel trading card set that it was all like photo backgrounds, but then they would have the characters drawn in? I always wanted to go back and pick up that set. I remember distinctly like seeing New York City, like a photo, and then they drew Spider-Man into it. Yeah, here's the other version, the hologram. So it wasn't a foil, it was a hologram version where you could see him go from the bones to the skin. Again, Bone Claw Wolverine on these magazine covers. Hildebrandt art. Here goes the more Tim Sale pinups. Holiday special, goofy stuff. Gotta love Wolverine versus Sabretooth. Tristan Shane. Not familiar with that name, but man, he must have done trading cards too, because that looks familiar. Mid-90s, peak era for me, y'all. I guess just, depends on the era you grew up in. I remember this too. Wolverine doing his thing. Wizard magazine wraparound cover. I love seeing these Wizard covers in the back of these books. Just goes to show you how popular Wolverine. We're on a volume 5, and there's still so much bonus material to show. Here goes the Phalanx Covenant stuff. So I feel like it must collect just the Wolverine and the Cable issue then. Because I didn't see all of them. Because I was wondering if it would have kind of made the OHC obsolete. Let me look it up real quick. Yeah, it doesn't collect that whole run. So what was going on in the Wolverine and the Cable issue. More Tim Sale stuff. Phalanx Covenant hardcover by Adam Kubert. Very cool, y'all. All right, y'all, there goes the haul. I got to track down those OG Power Rangers hardcovers now. I got to complete the set. I love that Wolverine Volume 5. Let me know which one was your favorite in the comments down below. Are you planning to pick any of these up? Let me know. I appreciate you guys watching. As always, stay minty fresh. Peace.